Hi, this is Chris Cowie. You're watching Loop TV. It's just bloody marvellous.
Do you feel that artists have become more in control now that things have changed in terms of distribution and record company involvement?
Actually, I feel they're becoming less in control because they're having to spend more time. Now, I'm talking about unknown artists. People are, just trying to build themselves up. They can find themselves spending more time on their Facebooks, Twitters, MySpace than creating music. Now, while I'm all for empowering the, artists, you have to, we all have to be careful that we don't end up just sitting in front of a computer doing that, And unless you have a team of people doing that for you, your music will suffer. So on one side, that's the negative side. But on the plus side, yeah, it gives you so much more freedom if you've got a huge fire in your belly and you're 22 years old, and you can survive on 3 days, just drinking coffee without any sleep. You'll find the time to do all that stuff, but it's maybe not for everyone. And I do find that a little bit of a problem for running the labels myself, I find there's an awful lot to do.
Have you found more as the sort of social networking idea has developed in terms of giving yourself profile as a band? There's an awful lot of bands spamming other bands and record labels and that sort without ever anybody actually listening to stuff.
I mean, this is the reality of the situation, is it? I mean, no offence to MySpace, and I'm sure it works on many levels for many people, whether they're artists or they're just individuals, just talking to their friends. But, I gave up pretty much on that site 2 years ago because it just ended up millions of musicians shouting at each other, listen to my music. And actually, they're the people that won't buy your music. Other musicians don't really buy, we want it free. I'll check out his stuff as long as it's free, And that's basically how it works. I do buy records, don't get me wrong. But I haven't found it particularly that much useful for me.
With the sort of general decline in physical sales and stuff, one of the things that you've done with the release of Bellboy and Hook is digitally remaster the back catalogue and re-release that, so it's now available for digital download. Is that a purely commercial decision? Was it just something nice to do? Or?
The thing about the remastering was, even if I had the original masters, the ones that were cut onto vinyl, even if I had all those, they would have still been remastered because of loudness, because everything is so much louder nowadays, which I don't like. And I actually want to say this, that if anyone buys one of, if they download one of the remastered, right, Hook or Bellboy back catalogue, if they chuck me a receipt, I'll send them the original studio version, straight off the DAT tapes. This way it's not been cut, it's not been made really loud to compete in today's market. And actually, by doing all this loudness, this heavy-duty loudness, we're getting seriously loud. It's really destroying the dynamics of music. Music is meant to be dynamic. It's meant to be up and down in volume. It creates a vibe. It creates the feeling. And now it's just in your face all the time. And this actually came about through ad men, PR men. You notice when the TV program's on, ads come on. They're much louder.
We all hate that.
Yeah, and this is where it started. And we've really got to do something about that, because you cannot make, off the top of my head, a Carpenter's record at the same volume. But this is what's going on, at the same volume as DJ Jazzy Jim or whatever's latest RMS at -4, I mean, that's the kind of levels that we're getting at. And that's like hugely, hugely loud. That'd be like 3 times louder than a record from, say, 1992.
And back in the old days, we just used to turn it up if we wanted it louder.
I think called a volume control, and, it would be quite handy if people use that. But I think, I've heard from the general public, they're saying to me, just friends, they're coming out with, I like this album, but it's so tiring on the ear. they're not saying it like that, but they're just saying, I like it, I listen to it, but I can't, I can't take too much of it. That's because it's all in their face, and this is all about loudness.
See, this is the interest.
We need to calm down with that. And I know that this is going on Loop TV, and I would like to say to some of these producers, just calm down with the limiters, You don't know what you're doing, because I don't know what I'm doing. I've been doing it for 20 years, and I don't want to be doing that sort of thing. Just because you have a plug-in that says loud, you're destroying your music. But I know it just went in one ear and out the other. They'll all be sitting there with the limiters going, oh, that's as loud. And it's kind of a shame. And loudness only really works very well on minimal stuff, but it doesn't work well on music that's got a lot of content. Like, I suppose, like heavy trance or very musical things, like the synth album.
You lose the nuance.
Absolutely. You lose far more than you gain. But I think the tide is turning with that. Once the general public are educated, they'll reject this loudness thing, I hope. Because we can't go on like this.
It's nice to know. It's nice to know that when we're actually not just getting older, it is generally getting louder.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it is actually bad for your hearing. If you listen to music it's like it brings up the low-level detail, these limiters, and that's what it's doing. Just everything that's meant to be in the background is suddenly right up there. And it's just not good. It's the end of the world. We have to stop it. Now, I demand it stops.
Little round of applause there.